So hopefully you're all doing really good. Today we are going to be talking very much about the start of the downswing. And those of you that have watched the channel long enough, and if you're new to the channel, the whole channel is orchestrated around like just real golf coaching. So when I'm working with online students, when I'm working with students from face to face, if I see a common area where golfers are still getting an element of uncertainty, then what I'll do is I'll create YouTube content in and around this. So subscribe, because all the stuff that I put onto the channel is really helpful, whether it's like little tips that you can take straight to the course, or whether it's about understanding stuff similar to today's video, are things that should really help you, because I see them help people very much firsthand. Now, what's happened recently, which has been a massive spike in popularity, is Tiger Woods has played, okay, and he's back. And there's a few things. Probably about 4 weeks ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago, the first unveiling of his new golf swing, where we kind of saw him hitting a few shots with the sort of trail leg, his right leg. It was sort of not bad, it was sort of bandaged up, it was definitely supported. And a lot of pros were commenting that it was fantastic to see him swinging, but everybody could kind of see that there was a lack of sort of loading going on in towards that trail leg, and therefore it would struggle for him to gain distance back. Now obviously somebody like himself works so hard to get back so he can enjoy the game and maybe play at a competitive level. He's improving that in leaps and bounds. However, it is a really, really important thing, and that becomes very much our topic of conversation, where the difficulty will lie, because Tiger's had a history of working on trying to keep this trail leg under more control, because he is somebody that I suppose has that sort of habit in his past and getting a little bit too fiery with the hips, getting a little bit stuck, and particularly with the longer clubs, just struggling to control them. And these are the kind of problems that a lot of golfers that I work with. Now, this video will really relate to you if you've got uncertainty of how to start the downswing, but it will massively relate to you if you feel like you struggle with the backswing and you don't exactly know how to start the downswing. And we're going to do it in two parts. Now, the first thing I'm going to use is my friends at Wedge Pro actually gave me this, okay? And I don't know, I know I've mentioned this on the channel before, I'm not too sure about their delivery and stuff if you are interested in it, but in truth, you could use a book, right? Anything that is solid, a little block of wood, a book, something that will take your weight is a really good thing to use. And you only need a small amount of angulation, something like whatever, 20 degrees, something like that. And all that's gonna do is you're going to put that on the ground, and then you're going to put your trail leg on it, and it's basically going to just sort of tilt your foot inward, okay? So it's going to slightly sort of like pronate your foot inward, and because it's raised, it's going to encourage your trail leg to stay more flexed. Now, what you're going to do is you put the club across your shoulders, or you put your hands across shoulders, whatever you prefer. And what you're trying to do is you're first of all just trying to get the feeling of what it really feels like to turn the pelvis into the leg in the backswing position. Now what that means, keep that right leg flexed, turn the pelvis into the leg. And when you're doing this type of exercise, you should get a real strong activation of muscular activation in the glute. Okay, because my trail leg is trying to stay flexed, my pelvis is therefore turning into my leg. This triggers a state of internal hip rotation. It's going to load up that glute so much more for you. You're going to get more of a feeling that you're pushing in towards the ground, because this trail leg is trying to resist against the rotation of your body. So that'd be the first thing that should heighten your awareness. Now, if you're somebody who turns over the leg, which basically means you move more this way, you'll be the kind of golfer that sort of tends to stand up, comes out of posture. You'll also be the kind of golfer that gets too spinny, because if you've got no weight underneath that trail leg to start off with, then how are you going to use the trail leg correctly at the start of the downswing? Which lends us to the second part of this video. So you basically put your Wedge Pro down, you put your platform down on the ground. You just practice, first of all, rotating into it. Once you do that, then you're ready to start the downswing. And what I want you to try and get the feeling of is that you're going to use your right side, and you're going to push pressure from your right side down in towards the ground. So I'm basically kind of almost getting the sense that I am orientating my body down towards the ground, and I'm doing that by using that right side. So I'm kind of pushing off this platform, but I'm pushing it back in towards the floor. I'm not pushing myself up. And this is that sort of spinny action when we start to stand up. You've got to be pushing down and down, down and down. Now the key little tip here, if I sort of demonstrate from side on, what we're basically trying to avoid is we don't want to be kind of going this way. We want to be going down and down. So you can kind of see the way I'm able to retain my hip depth. Now, if you start to do this exercise correctly by practicing at home, you'll start to feel your glute is miles more activated. You'll start to feel that the weight stays momentarily on that trail leg a little longer. And that's a feeling that I like to give golfers. Now we're talking momentarily, so if we put this into the context of a golf swing, we're basically saying, look, you go here, you might even have a bit of movement to your left. We're talking about this motion here. Okay, now as I continue to move, my weight will very quickly establish itself on the lead side. But we are talking about how to start the downswing, that little fraction moment in time. So that would be the exercise that I'd like you to go away and practice, okay? And get a strong feeling for how important it is to turn the pelvis into that leg, load in towards that leg, use that trail leg then as a platform to feel like you're not pushing off, you're pushing into. Okay, and as you push back into, then you keep that pelvis pointing downward, and that's going to give you the capability to stay in posture, but it's also going to make and stop any unwanted firing of those hips as you initiate the downswing. So have a go at the drill. What you then do is when you do the drill, you should go, yeah, no, that's Russ, that's how it feels already, or you go, wow, that feels different. Guess what you do? When it feels different, you go down the range, you go and hit some shots, you keep the trail leg more flexed, you turn the pelvis into the leg, and then you get that same feeling, and you just go and experiment with that down the range and see what sort of results that gives you. Whether it's better results in your ball flight, or whether it's just better results with your visual aspect if you're to video your swing, but it's certainly something that you want to be doing. Have a go, let me know. Catch you with you guys again really soon.